A nice market sell-off has happened in the market on Friday. As you see, some of our favorite names like AMD had decent pull downs. Apple really didn't pull down that much. Apple might be setting up for something. We look at our in stocks like Nvidia had some pull downs. 𝐴𝐵𝐺𝐽 actually went up off their earnings, but they did start coming down. Long-term shares of this one are doing very good. We'll go over a lot of these stocks. We'll also go over stocks like 𝐬𝐮 that's starting to go up. We did something on 𝐬𝐮. Also, we're looking at like UNH that's getting closer to some bigger resistance levels. Also, gold. We did very good on gold. I'm looking for some new golds, so I'll give you guys new support levels and resistance levels for gold as well. And we'll try to keep the video under 20 minutes. So make sure you guys smash the like button and like the video. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter at WillKnowledge77. That's my Twitter. Make sure you follow me there. And make sure you follow me on TikTok, Will Knowledge on TikTok. Make sure everything's the same because there are some fake accounts. Okay, so make sure it's exact followers, likes, following only one person, everything. Okay, but yeah, that's the two other ones. So let's get straight into it. Let's go ahead and start off with the semiconductors as I usually do. And let's start off with Nvidia. So Nvidia does have the same support level right around 164.65. Resistance level, I'm going to actually move it down a little bit at about 171. So these are our two current areas that we want to watch out for Nvidia. So basically, if we break this resistance level in Nvidia, I'm actually looking to do like shorter term upsides to maybe like the 175s. If we break that support, then probably looking to trade it down to like the 160s. So that's like my options, how I'm kind of looking out for it. Of course, I do all that live in the Discord as well. Trade live every morning the market is open. But for any longer term shares, I don't want any longer term shares just yet. So I'm only looking to play it more shorter term option wise. And then longer term shares, I probably won't start buying longer term shares until it's like in the 140s, at least over like a 20% drop from its all time highs, which will take us right around like the 147s ish. So that's how I'm kind of looking out for Nvidia and the levels for Monday. AMD did have a bigger push down. So I played AMD swing puts in here. It did very good. We did AMD puts. Those did good as well. We even played them on Friday. As you can see right here, we did 22% gain on the AMDs. Those were puts, and we did like 6 scalps that day. Very, very good day of Friday. Even the day before that, September 5th, I did about 6% on Amazon, 14% on Amazon, so 20% that day. So I usually scalp every morning, and you can see that on the Elite Yearly, all lifetime memberships for it to get access to the Discord to see me trade live. Prices should be going up pretty soon, but AMD is dropping down. So I'm pretty much focused more on puts on AMD. We sold about 75% of our leaps. We sold about 25% of our shares. And we're kind of just building some cash positions. So whenever we start finding these strong bottoms, then I'll start buying some more back up. But AMD really doesn't have a close support where we are now. So no real support that I want to add on AMD. Maybe there's one like all the way down here we could probably add. It's a little smaller, about 144.55, but there's no real strong support just yet. Smaller resistance we'll add on AMD is about 160.80. So these are our two current areas on AMD, but obviously like Monday or Tuesday, I'm actually looking for AMD to come down to the low 150. So I'm pretty much looking for puts. Actually, you do have another smaller resistance that I want to add. We could take this one away. We'll put a smaller resistance around 154.10. So if we try to come up there and maybe if we try to come back down from that resistance area, I'll probably be looking for like more swing puts. But those are your two current areas on the AMD front. Not looking to buy any longer term shares just yet because we're just starting to fall off. Like some stocks are getting more bearish and others pretty faster. So AMD is one of those. So we're going to be a little careful on it. 𝐴𝐵𝐺𝐽 had earnings. Their earnings did come out. They beat 1% on EPS, almost 1% on revenue. So they did open up pretty good. I don't have any option on 𝐴𝐵𝐺𝐽. I just have my long-term shares. Long-term shares is booming over 100%. So for now, I'm kind of just holding those. So there's nothing really I would do in this realm of 𝐴𝐵𝐺𝐽. I'd probably give it all next week to kind of move. Maybe I might play some continuations back to all-time highs like a Google play, or maybe it might want to come down. We'll kind of see. So it needs to do a little bit more movement. TSM was very stalled, but it is trying to go back up and try to go to all-time highs. So what we want to do is we want to mark out the bigger resistance area that it's been having a lot of trouble trying to break. But I would probably also like it to break of the secondary resistance level. Now for this one, I'm gonna write these out. So you have 243.45 of resistance of TSM, and then you also have 247.10. So these are two bigger resistance areas that I'll be watching out for on TSM. So if we break both of those, Then I'm going to assume that TSM wants to go back to all-time highs, which would be pretty decent. And then you have your support right around like 233.50 as well. So that's what I'm looking for TSM. I have a long-term shares, not selling those anytime soon. Kind of just building the cash position as the market might turn bearish pretty soon. And kind of just focusing on like shorter-term option plays to bring in the gains for me. And then that's TSM. We can go to CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike, as y'all know, I'm pretty much bearish on CrowdStrike. I'm looking for it to break down probably like below 400-ish. So we do have that same support. I would say about 407.30. Resistance level will change. Resistance level is probably right around 426.50. And yeah, pretty much probably looking for puts. If it comes back down and breaks that support, then I'm assuming it wants to come back down below 400, and then that's probably like the target on it. I'm pretty bearish on it. So pretty much it on CrowdStrike. Nothing really going on. Cloudflare for net is breaking resistance levels. So I'm going to see on Monday or Tuesday if it wants to push up to the all-time highs. That's what I'm assuming right now. All-time highs is like 219.15. So we'll see if we kind of break up those. So kind of more focused on calls. Unless we come down and break this support around 207.30. So as long as we stay above the support, I'm going to assume that Cloudflare net NET wants to go to all-time highs like Monday, Tuesday, maybe even Wednesday if it kind of gets a little slow. But yeah, pretty much looking for calls with that one for it to go higher in the prices. Then if we go to SMCI, SMCI still has support. So same levels of SMCI, $40.30. Resistance level, 44.55. And that's about it. There's nothing I would do in this range of SMCI for now. I'm going to just assume that it wants to go down to like 38s, 37s. So more downside. The only way I would look for upside is if we came back and broke that resistance at 44.55. So for now, keeping it pretty smooth on anything that I want to do with the SMCI type of front. SOXL got a little stall out movements. We took some profits. We do have a new support on it. I would say at about 25.15. This is a very high risk, high reward type of leverage for the semiconductors. Bigger resistance is right here, right around 28.95. I think once that breaks, we might get the push above 30s. So kind of looking for that to push, but we just kind of been stalled in here. So not really much new that I would kind of do in this range that has kind of been in. So for now, we're kind of just keeping it nice and smooth, man. Let's go ahead and go over to SOUN is breaking resistance. There's nothing new that I would kind of do, but it might want to push up to like the 15 range. So we can add that. And then also a support on it is about 13.20. That's all I see on SOUN. Also QUBT, pretty stalled. I'm going to take all the levels off. I really don't see much in this range that it's doing. It would need to move a little bit more to get a little bit clear of what might be a price, what might not be a price level. So I would say you need a little more movement on QUBT. Trying to go over some stocks that I haven't went over in a while as well. I'm gonna start posting a lot more on other socials. So I'll probably still post here about twice a week or so, but I'm gonna start posting more on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and so forth, building those up because I was on YouTube for 5 years and really didn't build those. So that's what I'm gonna start kind of focusing on now. But you'll still get videos probably like twice a week or so. But to get most of the levels, most of the analysts, it will really all be in the Discord to give them more value. So that's what we're kind of transitioning to. But QUBT, that's what we're kind of be looking out for, at least for now. And then let's head and go over to, I want to kind of go over a little more. We'll go over to Tesla. Tesla is starting to break some resistance levels. So what I want to do is I want to switch this resistance level to like the bigger resistance. We've been kind of trying to focus a lot on calls on Tesla, at least for now, but Tesla still needs to break out of a lot of ranges. 355.10 will be a resistance level that I'm watching out for. Still looking for it to kind of inch up to these higher prices. You also have a new support on Tesla about 334.30. So these would be the two levels that I'm watching out for in Tesla. Tesla still needs to get out of this range before I try to do anything bigger with Tesla. I have in long-term shares. I know everybody's talking about like his pay package and so forth, but for him to get that pay package, Tesla will really have to just rip. Like you probably see Tesla in the 700s, 800s and really rip, which will do good for us. Everybody's happy. as long as the stock goes up with our long-term shares. But I do want like bigger option plays in there. I'm just kind of waiting because Tesla's just very stalled, right? It's just not really moving that much. And I'm thinking maybe around the next earnings or somewhere in here, we might start to get some bigger movements. But these are our current levels on Tesla, and it's kind of just a little slow for now. Nothing really major has happened. Palantir has two support levels, 149.95, 147.95, smaller resistance, 155.45. I'm really just focused on downside on Palantir until we break that resistance. Then I'll maybe start focusing on upside. But for now, I'm just assuming Palantir kind of wants to drop. So probably more focused on puts, like I said, unless that resistance breaks like on Monday or Tuesday. But I'm also wanting Palantir to go down to the 130s. I want it down like 30% from its highs. That's right around like the 130-ish. So that's where I'll start thinking about getting some Palantir longer term shares, because this stock can drop pretty fast. As y'all saw, literally in a week, it dropped over 24%, and I don't think we're done yet on the downside. So those are the levels I'm looking for Palantir, but kind of just looking for more downside than up right now. And then SoFi tested the resistance, 25.60. If it breaks that, I'm going to assume that SoFi wants to go up to like $29, so that might be a possible shares play, around 12% or so. And then if I'm looking to make like 12% on the upside, if it broke that smaller support that it has around like 24.80, I'd probably cut it and only lose about 3%. So I will kind of watch out for that on SoFi. Not really much. I don't really see a bigger play, because last time we played SoFi, we bought it in here around 14, and then we sold it up here. It did about like 40% on SoFi. I don't see a bigger play like that right now. So SoFi doesn't have that much attention, but we'll kind of see how it wants to move. Open broke resistance, going up to the targets of $7 as expected. That's what we kind of wanted it to go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to clear all the levels off the chart. We're going to add new levels on open, just in case you are watching it. Let's see. We're going to add a new resistance level on open. And open has a couple of resistance levels, but this will be the first one right around like $7.30. That will be your new resistance level. Next target on open will probably be around above the $8 mark. So it would be nice if open had like some pull down in this range, maybe around the resistance level or so forth, a little pull down Monday or Tuesday, then set back up for it to go back higher. So I'm not trying to like chase price or anything like that. You have a couple support levels. You have one right here, right around like 620. You have another one, smaller one right here, right around like 555. Watch out for those, but you want some type of pull down and some type of bounce off these supports like this. Pull down, bounce off with smaller support, and then starting to go back up. Then looking for possible shares like in here to catch the secondary run instead of trying to chase it while it's already up. That's what I'll be looking out for on the open front if I was looking to play it in that range. Celsius tested resistance, stalled for about 2 weeks, and now it is starting to drop. So resistance level is still the same on Celsius. The more that Celsius gets pulled down, maybe I'm thinking about doing a potential swing on Celsius, possibly. We'll just kind of see how it wants to move. But I am kind of watching Celsius a little bit. The only thing I have on Celsius right now is that resistance at about like 61.30. That'll kind of be about it. Cheesecake support level, you would have to change Cheesecake support now down to about $60.30. Resistance level will be right around 61.30. So I don't see much on Cheesecake. It got very kind of slow on these high prices, so it seems like it wants to go down more than up, and I would just expect more downside on it than upside right now, at least for cake right now. Now, before we go over to like the Mag 7s, some stocks I'm going to buy more long term. One is STZ, Constellation Brands. They own the rights to like Modelo and so much more. Nothing says they're done dropping, but I like this one longer term. I also like Pool longer term, looking to build this one long term. I think this one get over $600 longer term. So Pool is another one. Also like Clorox, down very good overall from its highs. If you look at its all-time highs, like there's still stocks that are good. It's down like 47%. Long term, pretty good. So you just got to kind of hold through it. So building a position on Clorox as well, looking for minimum probably around 100% gain on these shares. So these are all kind of like some longs that I'll be doing in the Discord. And y'all know some of my favorite ones like Pepsi's, looking for more of Nike, looking for more of UPS, looking for more of very longer term. Also some stocks I'm starting to watch. Home Depot, if we go to some of the retail sides real quick, Home Depot is actually going up pretty nicely, and it actually might want to start going to all-time highs. So bigger resistance level we're watching out for Home Depot. If we start to break this, I might start looking for potential upside plays, which is right around like 420, right? All-time high is literally right here on Home Depot, right around like 439.38. So I'm going to assume that Home Depot wants to go up there. That is something I'm watching out for. Walmart as well, starting to get a little strength. You have a bigger resistance level around 104.50 that if we break that, I'm assuming that it wants to go to all-time highs, but also you have another resistance at 101.85. So Walmart's looking for something as well for upside. Costco trying to get some strength, but it still has to break a bigger resistance level at 993. Support 930. Kind of these stocks on the retail side. Target looking to buy some longer term. You look at the longer outdated, it usually kind of slowers, but overall longer term, we should get a nice pour up to the higher side, I'm assuming. So, but if Target breaks the support around 90.60 or 90.70, then I think it might want to go down to the 80s, which might cause a bigger drop. So we do want to kind of watch out for that just in case. Let's go to the Mag 7s. Oh, hold on. Let's go to the banks real quick because the banks will be quick. JPM, big drop. Okay, we want to watch these banks. Sometimes they could be signs. Bank of America, decent drop. Goldman Sachs, bigger drops. Morgan Stanley, bigger drops. Now, none of them have broken their key supports that would turn them bearish, but you want to start watching those because once they start turning bearish, they could have some decent drops. Like banks can drop pretty fast. Like in here, it was pretty much all red candles except these two. Bigger drops here. When it drops pretty fast. So watch the banks. Start watching like the JPMs and so forth. I would say you have a support probably like around 290.21, new resistance level on JPM right around like 302 since they're like the biggest bank. Watch their resistance level. If they break that, you might start seeing JPM go back to all-time highs, but also watch the support because if it starts breaking that support around 290.20, then you might actually start to see the banks follow and start going down as well. So we'll kind of see, but I kind of want to throw that in on the banks. Apple's trying to reach up to them all-time highs. It's really trying. It's very slow though. Apple's doing a whole lot of fugazi. So I would say support. We could really take off support. I don't really see a strong support resistance level. We're kind of at that right now. The secondary one, which around 239.55 will be our support. Looking for calls on Apple really. As long as we don't break below like 238.30, I'm kind of looking for calls on Apple, but Apple's just in a little weird range. Meta, we can take all our levels off on the Meta front. Any levels we want to add, I'd probably say maybe a smaller resistance on Meta at like 754.65. Then maybe you have a smaller support on Meta. No really bigger levels around 742.30. And yeah, Meta's kind of like a no man's land. There's not really much I would do with the Meta front. Microsoft had a very bigger drop, right? Microsoft is dropping faster than some of the Mag 7s, so we want to pay attention to that. It might be a little better for put options in my eyes than like trying to play Apple puts or something. So kind of want to focus on the ones that are actually moving and not try to fight price, right? We don't want to fight price. So right around like 494.30, looking for that support. If we break that, then I'm looking for Microsoft to get down to like the 486s. So that's like potential puts that I'm looking out for Monday, Tuesday. And then we have a smaller resistance. So pretty much looking for puts unless we come back up and break this like smaller resistance, which is like 506.15 area. So we'll kind of watch out for that on Microsoft. I do have long-term shares, not selling any no time soon, but kind of would just keep building on it. Google, monster. We have our leaps of Google literally up 300 something percent. We took some profits on it already. As you can see here, we took about 25% of our Google leaps off, about 270%. We have our last 25%. That's literally up over 300 something percent now. And we sold that 25% on like September 3rd. So that's all in the Discord. And then you see that September 3rd is right after that jump. We took some profits. Now we have the last quarter and that's making us more profit. So Google's banging. Also have long-term shares of Google that I'm not selling no time soon. I'm gonna just let those kind of compound overall. And then any drops we get on Google, I'll just keep compounding, building on Google for like longer term shares. But the way I take profit on Google is option wise, right? So if I want profit on Google, I'll either scalp it, swing it, or get leaps, and those will be my profit. And then shares wise, I just kind of hold that forever. So yeah, they are facing a $3.5 billion EU suit, but I know some of them got dropped, but no real levels on Google right now because it's so high. So I'm kind of just letting it run, letting it do its thing, at least for now. And then y'all know gold booming. I want gold to go up to like the 335s. So, but I just need gold to have a little softness and some pull down. So what we want to do is take all these levels off. we could take everything off. And then we have our new support, probably like around 326.80. So looking for gold to have some type of pull down, as I wanted it here. We got it, but it just kind of opened above my target of where I wanted to buy gold. So I didn't play this push of gold. We bought here of gold, and then we sold it here of gold. Gold did fantastic, so we caught the run, but I don't want to rush it. So I need some type of pull down around support areas. Then I'm looking for it to come back above and break resistance. Then I'll be looking for more calls on gold. Same thing as silver. Any levels on silver, you'd still have that resistance around 37.30. So silver might be ready for calls on Monday or Tuesday. I'll kind of see how it wants to move. Really, Bitcoin kind of slow. You still got a shorter term support at like around 108,690. So I would kind of watch out for that. Nothing crazy on the Bitcoin or nothing like that. Coinbase is probably going to be dropping down more. Hood has a support around 93.55. I'm not bearish on Hood yet, but if it breaks that support, I probably will be bearish, and I'm going to assume that it wants to go below 90s, kind of in that range. We did take some profit off our Hood. Also, a share we sold was Reddit. We sold half of our shares. We have half left, and it's looking like Reddit wants to go back up and boost up back to all-time high. So you have a resistance on Reddit at about 244.50. I'll watch out for that resistance on the Reddit front, because if it breaks that, it's probably going to want to go to all-time highs and continue that push up. So kind of watch out for that. S&P 500. Let's just clear the whole chart off of S&P 500. There's really nothing in this range of S&P 500 that I want to give like levels wise. I'll just kind of see how it moves Monday or Tuesday whenever the next video comes out, and then I'll kind of update you guys on SPY, because we need a little more day movement. We need like Monday to kind of move, Tuesday to kind of move, to form a little better areas of levels on SPY right now. But the market is still bullish, not bearish yet. Some stocks are more bearish than others, but some stocks are bullish. So we just really got to understand how to read price, how to understand price to give us that best chance. And I think all that could be helped. First link in the description. Make sure you guys join. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching the video. Smash the like button, subscribe if you're new. Always remember, no recommendation to buy or sell anything, just for educational purposes only. So do not trade anything you see or hear in the video. Catch you guys on the next one.